Good afternoon, dear students. It's me, Malohat, senior teacher at Oregon State University. Dear students, today we will speak about CEFR. Background to the CEFR. The CEFR is the culmination of work on modern language teaching and learning, which in essence began in the 1950s. It serves one of the aims of the Council of Europe, which is to achieve greater unity among its members by the adoption of common action in the cultural and educational fields. Why CEFR? Let's speak about this one. The Council of Europe aim is to achieve greater unity among its members by the adoption of common action in the cultural and educational fields. One way of achieving this aim is to provide a common basis for the planning of language courses, development of curricula, textbooks, and exams, and through these to achieve mutual recognition of qualifications among European countries and greater European mobility. What is included in the CEFR document? The CEFR essentially consists of three main components: common reference levels. These are levels of proficiency which allow learners' progress to be measured at each stage of learning on a lifelong basis. This is called global scale and consists of 6 different levels of performances ranging from basis A1 and A2 to independent B1 and B2 to proficient user C1 and C2. So what is included in the CEFR document? A1, formulaic proficiency. A2, wastage specification. B1, threshold specification, and B2, vantage specification. And C1, advanced proficiency, and C2 is full proficiency, So A1 and A2, they are included in basic users, B1 and B2 independent users, and C1 is included in proficient user of language. So common reference levels, self-assessment grid. This is a tool intended to help learners self-assess their level of proficiency and chart their progress in the foreign language. It represents all 6 levels and is divided into 4 skills. The statements are expressed in terms of what the learner can do in each skill and for each level. So the so-called can-do statements form the core of the European language portfolio. And A1, we know that it's a beginner level, A2 elementary level, and they are included in basic speaker. They are called basic speakers. And B1 is intermediate level and B2 upper intermediate level, and both are called independent speakers. And C1 is advanced level, and C2 is expert, and they are included in proficient speakers. A descriptive scheme, which describes in a comprehensive way a large range of competence which make up the abilities of a user of language at a given level. What the learner needs to learn to do in order to be able to use the language effectively, and what skill and strategies the learner needs in order to use the language effectively. Features of CEFR, what are they? They are comprehensive, transparent, coherent, multi-purpose, flexible, and etc., etc. So the first one is comprehensive. It tries to specify the full range of language knowledge, skills, and use so that all users are able to describe their objectives by reference to it. The next feature of CEFR is transparent. Information must be clearly formulated, explicit, available, and readily comprehensible to users. The next one is coherent, free from internal contradictions. multi-purpose, usable for the full variety of purposes involved in the planning and provision of facilities for language learning. The next feature of CEFR is flexible, adapted for use in different circumstances. The next feature is open, capable of further extension and refinement. And the next one is non-dogmatic, not irrevocably and exclusively attached to any one or a number of competing approaches. Who are intended users of the CEFR? The CEFR is of use to curriculum or course developers by helping them to decide on the objectives for language learning, by helping decide on the content of language learning programs, and test developers and the language certification boards, by helping decide on their assessment criteria, by helping them decide on the content of their exams. Learners through the self-assessment scale, by helping them identify their present state of knowledge, by helping them set worthwhile and feasible objectives, encouraging that self-assessment and learner autonomy. Textbook writers and materials developers, by helping them to decide on the types of texts and tasks that need to be included in materials. So, dear students, this is the end of our today's lesson, and revise all the learned materials and be ready for the next time. Goodbye.